Craft Bedrock's biggest server that came out in 2018. And I'm gonna be going through the history of Hive in 2018 to 2026. Let's get into it. The history was released back in 2018 of spring, I think, or October. But so the Hive only had survival games, hide and seek, and treasure wars. And those were the only 3 games for a while. But and it was only like a couple of Hive YouTubers, not that many. It got around like a couple thousand players, which is honestly not too many, honestly. But it's still pretty good. That is a pretty high number, not gonna lie. But that's all I gotta say about 2018 of the Hive. Next up, we're gonna go to 2019. So 2019, in Hive had released in their game. So in 2019, not much has really happened. Just a couple Hive updates, maybe a new game where I don't remember actually. But there was not that much in 2019, I remember. But there was a new Hive YouTuber coming in. Gonna come in. MNP. But let me rewind. And so 2019 was the day that was the year that Hive released Skywars, or 2020. But I don't remember. It's 2018, it's 2019 if I remember. And then MNP came. He was a Hive YouTuber who've been tracking a lot. It feels like we're getting hundreds of thousands of. It's honestly a very interesting number, honestly. And that being carried at the channel. So that was not that much, honestly. But next up, we're heading into 2020. So 2020, Hive dropped a new game called it had dropped a new game mode. I think I did what that's it. And then Gravity was still at this rise. This is honestly insane. And Hive Skywars was carrying the Hive. And Hive has gotten about near about 10,000 players, which is actually insane. And Hive has only been around for 2 years in 2020. That's all I gotta say about that here. But there were some new Hive YouTubers there was someone named Pocket, and also another one called probably Pat. I don't think he was there, but I don't think he was in. But Pocket was in, and I think there was another one. I can't remember who it was, but I think it might have been another OTM YouTuber. I can't remember. But that's all I gotta say about 2020 stuff. We are gonna be heading into 2021. This is where Hive has dropped a new game called Death Run. The Death Run came out in 2021, or maybe 2020, I can't remember. But I think it was 2021 where Hive had officially released a new game mode called Death Run. Death Run was a pretty fun game. And it's just a game where you try to run from death. It's pretty fun. It got about, I think it was kind of hard to try to get 100 players, but honestly, not all games can be just like Hive Skywars. But Hive has gotten about 12,000 players, which is absolutely insane. But this was actually a year where Hive was actually dead. At the end of 2021, and Hive was kind of dead, and honestly, and it had less than 10,000 players. Honestly, it's kind of sad. But alright. or I just they might try to drop violence. Is what I think. But no, they probably dropped that way earlier. They probably dropped that way earlier. Probably back in the 2019 maybe. Or 2020. But I think Saga was released in 2020, I think, if I remember correctly. In 2021, and I don't. It was just Hive's downfall year, kind of. But then 2022 came up. 2022 was probably Hive's biggest year ever. So, they released so many updates. They have released the arcade. They have actually released the gravity from the sky. Which actually did okay, not bad actually. Yeah. But the Hive Arcade was literally Hive's biggest update in 2022. Yeah. And 2022 was actually about the year where every one of its videos hit 100 million views, which is actually super. Or maybe it was later, I don't know. But the arcade was Hive's biggest thing ever. I'm not gonna lie, it got hyped about 15 to 17,000 players, which is actually insane. They could drop Capture the Flag, Rock Drop, Ground Wars, which there were so many videos on the arcade, which is insane. And it's actually really cool. And there was a hunt, a golden mailbot hunt, where you get special costumes. I think it actually was really cool. I don't think I really got it was the same for that update. Oh, but I think. Okay. So, and also. So, I don't think there's anything else I can remember. In 2022, I think I remember one thing. There was probably a new Hive YouTuber called Hive 8. No, Hive came out way earlier. I think it was like a new Hive YouTuber. I can't remember. It's like someone who like got it was Pyro iOS. I think it kind of came to Hive in 2022. I can't remember, but I think that's when he came. When he started making. Maybe it was 2021. That's all I gotta say about 2022. 2023 was honestly, it was another Hive dead year kind of again. There was something I said that some YouTubers were just making about the Hive. It's dead. I felt like it's just a trending at that point. I mean, there weren't that many updates in 2023, but they did announce something. So, okay, it was announced in 2023. So, I couldn't figure out much about 2020, except for just the regular hunts. And all I know. But there was something before looking at. There wasn't much in 2023, honestly. I was just kind of dead. But let's head into another big year for Hive. 2024. This was Hive's big year. And in early 2024, Hive made a decision that would change the Hive community. They announced that they're going to officially remove Cyber Wars forever. And going to be replacing it with Bed Wars. Now, so everyone was mixed up on this. Some people thinking this is good. Other people disagree, thinking that this is going to Hive it even more. But when they dropped it on March 29th, 2024, our Hive had looked again. To made Hive so popular, Hive so popular, it reached up to 25 to 22,000 players, which is actually insane. always is super impressive. Also, and there was something else in 2024. There is a Hive Edwards carried the high. Immediately everyone had been starting making videos about Hive Edwards is out, Hive Edwards best strategy, and on MP I tried Hive Edwards good. This update carried the high. Okay, got Hive not dead anymore. It's great. Alright, that's what I'm gonna say about 24. But before 2024, Tiger moves are we don't talk about that. That's all I gotta say about 2024 for the Hive. It was only about weather, but that's all I can remember. Oh, by the way, 2023 was actually a year where I started playing hot. That's sweet. This is we said we're outside playing hot, but we're not going back. We're not going back. So now we head to year 2025. It's an insane big year for the Hive. So I started Hive was not doing much, but they did release Bed Wars Season 2, which carried Hive even more. Got up to almost 20. It got to 26,000 players, which was insane. It's beating their old record. And they added so much stuff, new wands, new mode, everything. It actually was really cool. Also, in that year, Hive has a business. Also, in late spring of 2025, they have announced that they're going to be officially updating speed builders, which is actually insane because they have not updated that game in years. It's actually insane. And also, they also, when the update came, it was insane. It got about the same amount of players. First got up to 28,000 players, I think. Maybe 26. They rebranded their name to Field to build battle. They had a new LPM called Speed Builders, which is so weird. I don't know why it's called an LPM anyway. Other than that, there was more. And so we're gonna head to August 4th. Actually July 25th. 125, where they announced Bedwars Season 3 is officially coming out, which is actually insane because that's the second time they updated it. And when it dropped, it was insane. And the new island Valkyrie Links and Otis Spear, which is insane. And all there was insane broken, but Hive managed to fix it. And also in that year, there was a couple more new YouTube ranks. I don't remember who. Well, not that many, honestly. I don't remember. And then now we head to December 19th, 2025. When 2026 will welcome Hive, but it wasn't but first we got realigned to December 10th, 2025, where Hive has officially announced Bedwars Season 4 officially coming out, and this was actually a really big update. You probably already know about the update. I made a video about it. I got announced, and I told a lot about it. So there was a new meta, there was new maps. They also added prestige, which now there was a choice of. And also, added mates, stat boosters. Wait, but look at that. Listen. And other than that, there's nothing that. But anyways, anyways, that's it. But there was one last thing, and I forgot to tell. No, in 2025, May 28th, 2025, I have officially released a new rank of Ultimate Rank. This is probably in that they have not added a new rank in years. What they added is they have 75% XP, they have a purple name, and we get a new pet, new mount, new hat, and so more. It was also, that was also good. But mostly right at the end of 2025, we're also right at the Christmas thing, the Christmas update. They have made a new hub, which honestly I actually sick. And at the right at the end of Christmas, they have added that you get a free new mount, which is actually very cool, honestly. And a whole lot more. Hive Ultimate is a Hive Plus, but it's upgraded. And honestly, I think it's worth buying. Everything about buying it, it gives you so many perks, and it gives you more XP if you want to grind watch. But if you play Hive a lot, you can buy it. But anyways, that's my setting, but that was the full history of the hive. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. See ya next video. Bye bye bye.